Well, very good. I'm Torin Mane, IE Global Group and Global Market for the effort. I've been with Bank for over 2 years. So if you hadn't working about startup web growth this morning, I'm managed off the either mas from a B2B sector, how PLG found in the tech. And often the company that were direct to either have made a leading for the providers when it comes to PLG position, and often compare their hero and then pioneer and building things back. But it the love I the muscle education, driving awareness, planning like infrastructure that goes into the B2B side of the house as well. So we'll talk about that in a bit. Quick intro. So where do you like the intro in the room? No, okay, one. Like you are the making your time there in another cooperator Bengal and then joined Microsoft. That's where I might take 10 years ago, we developed the first prediction engine. And the way before AI became nothing, right? We were looking at startup, come negative for startup team, leading their portfolio to North America. And we activate about 800 companies every year on Azure. And we will able to know which company you pull out to be the successful one, because how many out of 12 out of 10? Any double? Now, major. And so we work what we call it the prediction engine develop. Well, you get on here, you can what is the salary that per company to radio net on the ground. But today, Kenya, you see that on Kenyan side, you see that in push bar, hard other conditions. Are the either that creation and the validity that kind of doesn't Nigerian AI and then lead on to the interview, then you put that out in three days to pass on your experience, really take advantage of parts where you could crop up the out before the internal structure. So here right now, we're going out a whole bunch of infrastructure, that into the market effort. We'll talk about it as you go through the session today. The different term that, the T topic tool cover, we talked a little about, how you can transform that TOE cover. And we did talk with very practical. So now I go is really deeper that and you're the developer a lot of the work is in him. Okay, it can learn, then we need the it to help them and the hair and other children we use on it. Okay. The second thing is where do we teach anyone in the real world? Not this home, a little bit about Twilio. There have been a lot of different applications that are out there. So we'll see a few really for energy examples, and I'll be hearing something to go your date with. And then first but not the least is the thing that will convert after the session, which is where do you get to go to eat? So let's jump in. If you were to compare product web road like 10 years ago, it doesn't really look like a company. You have to kind of go twist and turn it around and try to find, try to prop and think, what was that one hand, what was that intent of the images coming in that were work? But to today, we're more living in a world that powered by AI chatbot like Ego as a word, but not in the world autonomy offering roots. And what that means is the idea is writing its growth intelligence and powering the next set of growth strategies and hand user experiences. So we'll see that in a minute. But look at today beyond even, hey, I have a bot or an agent to do a certain task. Then the we taking our data across all the different data sets, they might together on one group and your mind give a thing. We'll see how that goes too. So how does you think about AI beyond shape, right? You think of it as not just a static experience, not just a two-way conversation, but think of it as an adaptive system that learns and builds up. Be it your individual, be it your go-to-market innovation, be it your niche story, or would different aspects of how designers have been impacted, all the aspects of how we build sparks and then how we build experiences sparks have been impacted. And the whole new idea. So tell me why your perspective, I think we all been enough about all the communication things AI can do. And then you get over key, there's a full under optimization when it comes to your, acquisition, when it comes to activation rate, we saw about 40% increase in our activation rates when it came to users that were actually using our platform. We also looked at from a bar conversion rate across different tipping points in our funnel, and we were able to improve the user engagement ratio. Comp definitely went down, but as well. So a lot of people did initiate that three different think about, but also start thinking about, why we're even curious. Why are we thinking about using AI for keynotes, right? Why not do it the good old way and buy some of the off-the-shelf solutions? To get that they can be a little bit more comfortable. How many people have actually built on or above or growth or growth funnel or some dirt na ko pa? Come on, make it. Oh, but yeah, di ba kaya na pag-ulos? Yeah, medyo. Alright, well, if you look at every single the design a funnel or loop, whatever you want to call it, it all boils down to how do your users hear about you, right? How do you acquire them, and then how do you see them or kind of go them? But you think about how the AI then infused, and we did it too. We started with intent. And yet that how we capture user intent in a way that we can actually bring that data in and start taking advantage of where the users wants to go. Do we have five different personas? And do we get in here, machine learning engineer, business user, pilot, as well as other leadership, individuals that use data as the product. And now it's very complex. So when somebody hears about platform, how do you actually bring them in and then have an experience the right journey is a big challenge for us. So we really do take advantage of, using probably AI and AI solution, really a very optimized trial experience, looking at very simple things, very figure this person had a corporate email, very that the deal and things like that. And he does a say acquisition. As you go down in the funnel, you can see there's an infusion of the AI and behavior, right? And there are so many different methodologies in which you can actually do that. There isn't a one size fits all. The portfolio that could be again, a nice little agent. For some other companies, I just might be enjoying, a much better job of actually orchestrating some of that the journey flow, right? In some cases, it might just be I just want to build a really clean IPT to drive our trial conversion. And the Marie will share that it's not just about, I'm going to take that one cool thing and apply it across every single aspect of one follow. Think very carefully about what are your pain points when it comes to acquisition, and then here's your array of things to pick from. So let's just dive very quickly or into each of these three. So when you think about acquisition, like I was mentioning earlier, we have five different personas. How many think more than five personas here? Or I thinking, yeah. So usually, in some cases, they might consolidate certain practitioners or whoever you're selling it to. The idea is when jump using data, you can get really targeted. So to get personalized with your ICDs, well, they might come from different industries, or they might come from different, type of B2B right company. They might be different near the decision maker. The advantage with AI, it is actually a microsecond target. Then you really take your existing ITT and take them one or two levels deep. When it comes to finality, understanding who they are, you can start looking at all these signals that are coming in. Think, when you're talking to them, or when you're going on their support pages, right? When you use the experience your product in your asset, have you actually bring in some of that data? And around the properties, you can actually LLM power behavior standardization. But this is an example of where is someone clicking in to a certain set of features. Maybe you're trying to build a dashboard in the Databricks platform. Maybe they are trying to get to the dashboard that they tried to build was a specific kind of data dashboard, or it had a specific kind of data set that was an unstructured data set. And so there's all these different nuances to the behavior and pattern that you can start identifying and getting really, really targeted. The GenAI and segmentation really have evolved a ton when it comes to the full composition aspect of the process. The second thing to think about there is personalization. How you had been there right content. That did. Oh my god. It was like, come on. It used to GLDP Gemini, right? Or it could be, at work maybe. Uh, okay. But if you haven't, but they believe you haven't really truly used AI to write content, please give it a shot. And then maybe go back and edit it if you're not happy with it, because most of it are not usually. What do you active? When it comes to intelligent personalization, it's no longer just about content. I think content is an amazing use case for all marketers out there, for all people who are thinking about any kind of user experience, or content or cons or docs to help pages. But really get good, how do you actually take that and bring it into personalized and boring cues or personalized nurture messaging, right? So assign the actual message the name my path will be email to or not to the e minimal to a, and then from there I get email, I don't know, TB, right? But what is my personalized pathway instead of just having one packet that a journey input? The second is around adaptive user experience. A year ago, there was this whole paper from Greylock that came out talking about product led AI. And that was it. And then, like, this is great. Like, market cases are getting disrupted, business technology getting disrupted. What about user experience? And so I started writing a paper about, hey, like, you know what? Adaptive AI came into play. What if user experience did not, did change and evolve? How users started clicking to it? It's no longer about tooltip or clippy. How many here know what a clippy? Ah, favorite. They just start like cutting now. No, no, no. But adaptive UI, as an example, is another way creating about content. So connected to, right? Because whatever adaptive UI, you have all of the copy, the software, the messages on your screen that you're trying to move people into your product and nothing. So if you think about the user experience, one, when you watch Gilbert, do I think and how many, why can I not just see the menu that matters to you based on non-empathy? What do I need to see when it comes to getting started? Why not care about uploading data and Sonal with data engineer? Why do I need to hydrate the lakehouse if I can go analyze the dashboards directly? So there are all these adapted experiences that, and you think about intelligent personalization at scale, come into play. And of course, this is way that you with the full PIG water roaming that happen. Well, then you quietly go talk to your marketing team, your operations team, your R&D team, your data science team, your engineering team. I maybe have no come about the goal for. But I got about the time. So with it again, nice to the operation, of the thing trying very low ball and you'll see how it comes to it. I did not start my timer, by the way, so I need to check on my app. Okay, we're good out that. Lots of other deep expansion. How many of you have built a nudge or some kind of an expansion banner? Yeah, but thank you. But we launched a bunch of offers for our very try users, and we would start showing them banners. And the banners were nice, except what happened when you see a banner? How many of you actually activate? No. Right? So how wicked, how would then, be from a product, we use these models and banners for the right treatment at the right time, catastrophic and with the red needle with going above, okay, maybe I need to pay attention. And is it buy and it's just tech aren't just on a program, right? They are come to opt out on expansion. Would it be in the state of your user all day long and have a price conversion, right? And so the idea is how you keep curating and constantly keeping their average as you burn out these trial offers. Is it a 14-day trial? Is it credit-based trial? And we looked at our data in terms of our user, though it got by consulting partner who are considered a power user and relevant customer. And he all the better analysis behavior to identify and immediately to hear and customize it of your dignity to the persona. So one standard that does not work, right? We will love that. But when it comes to curriculum upsell, as you think about the goal being cured, Yeah, to create like agent optimization, brilliant data shape on a ratio texture. You convert it into development and deliver bubble that adapted user experiences. And in third word, we did that be will be converted. Now that we gone into the funnel, then boom now. Let's see what this is trying in real world. And then B2B buyer charted some of the uncharted waters and come up with a few, outcomes they concluded. The customer is so important. Você aceita, when you're reading media, do you want to have in-app prompts and experiences? We do like the database extract where you come in and we have three copy for you. You click on the copy and your experience is a little bit more personalized than what it was a year ago. When it comes to feature that poorly, we all have heard and seen co-pilots and how they can help in a bit. And thirdly, when it comes to activation, we can't deal with motion bigger. They can see improve the conversion, they increase, the focus light aspect when it comes to the onboarding. We got about 3x return from that. Well, under co-faculty, we have a lot more to share. Hotpot, think, right? 4 guys and they're up to like third. How many people do you talk about? Okay, me, how many can hand you hotpot? Okay. The customer said, go, right? It's a nice solution. Yani, the best thing I eat hotpot are the other one, Mashami to go become a marker. Or the engineering piece. And I'm like, yeah. They have countless, they come in how to work at night. Up to do is all just fully and how's our your fuels, right? That sense of the light when you start experiencing up. And they've gone up for 10 times more in the past 2 years when it comes to a lot of the personalization that they've built. So again, two of them target finance, family rather than come to the B2B low expensive design of 5%. And not gonna be click up. Have the example, but they're here, it's on the hunter just, how does this really work in real world? The company like motion, like hotspot, like pick up, the victim. All right. Well, here's the fun part. But three things that you can do from a strategy perspective, and then I'll share with you a list of things you can do from an execution perspective. So when the core that started on the strategy, how you encourage that it comes to an enterprise company that you want to use that sponsor, in some cases, another that left was an Megan Keynes where they have data science, they have analytics, they have operations, they have product engineers, everything on body. But also in the reality is that when you start talking about PQA or part qualified, calculations and me, they're still a team that's a little uncomfortable. So how many times have people asking at their team come and say, hey, wait, let me look where I comment. Or, one day everyone sitting for a tone where I'm supposed to be the one talking to them, right? That happens a lot. But you we had to kind of like jack that and get really creative about me, how going at the gym, then when you're at a gym talking to humans and you're like, slap on the head. So, step one, build up funnel, whatever role it looks like. I showed you, how, working funnel, where there are folders and things there that you can take the one, two things that relate to your acquisition, your extraction savings, and identify those. From there, identify your metrics. So in our case, we ran a whole bunch of pilot dynamic heat for the first 18 months, and then nobody cared. Why? Why they care if people are more, open to creating dashboards than needed, right? Well, I don't know. But the minute he started talking in the language of board metrics, and number of logos activated, and new customers, and revenue, everything lit up, right? Suddenly, everyone was excited, and there was a weekly meeting, the board leaders, whoever cared, and we're poking at all of the different cuts of the journey, and we're like, oh, what happened with onboarding? And then you get 118 sections. So even though I did anything in there to show your consensus, from where, build a funnel, identify the metric, and then build your data power for market engine. That last piece is a game changer. It's not about crypto CPXC. It's not about user G60 you got to build. It's going 3 levels and of what that was studying just a second. But for this, here's your funnel. We can tie this back to this in Kubernetes frame with 200 deductor. Some of the header matter keys, some of the neon. To me, what matters is the payback loop count. we have one-line volume that we spend on our cap. And when it comes to actually optimization and on drop-off rates, we were through 33% when it came to drop-offs from our file. Now we're down to somewhere like 10. And that payback was huge because all of that marketing budget that was going out, we needed to see those conversions come true. And where you could pick whichever one matters to you. And you feel there, here's that Ian Powerful marketing engine. So the idea here is pretty straightforward. You eat up with one, or you eat up with all these different things. I highly encourage if you have a data engineer, a data scientist, and someday you go to the income and infrastructure perspective, all solid and bought in a piece for 6 months. A company very well for data team or have a data team or report and then you run virtual the app label. So you get the dependency here. But if you look at the different aspect, the whole idea is to bring your product, right, your user and your customer automation with support data. We worked a ton in our first 6 months of building a work funnel just by analyzing capacity. And I wish we had Perplexity or ChatGPT or something to go parse out the ethics 24 months ago. Well, you get 24 months ago, more that, right? But by the way, we go to all of the go tickets, looked at all of our NPS information, we spoke to customer one-on-one, but I'll call it data insight, captured those. We'll also come up the data insight that we had in terms of how people are actually feeling using the product. And then we got below that in to evolve what we build out as our ITP, to evolve those metrics that matter. Then it is not just about user activation. It was about how did you ladder up to the board or how did you ladder up to your run up here. And then we really broke the DFI. So the thing that look across your organization, everything can do Tingle, if that's what you use for learning or whatever other changes you think to backend, to Radasa, to I don't know, Kettles, or to Tango, whatever the tools are that then each tool is consuming and creating data sets. So it is very important for somebody to step back at a journey view and take all those data points and build an integrated sort of end-to-end perspective on it. And that helped at the time. And from there, a segment is featured, and we got great which teacher mattered, planning the journey and why, and which persona. That's it in terms of the 3 steps. Pretty easy. Come back in a year, tell me how that went. And then after that, the lead, if you really want to make it real and build your template, right? So this makes it very tangible in terms of, the data foundation there, bringing up the key together, all the way down to then it's training and building out your product feedback. This is just a quick, good not adaptation of what that looks like today. It will change in the next 6 months. And that's it. Like start your PLG journey. I usually can be analogy here when we're in the walls or somewhere to see the compass and the GPS tracking. At some point, it was autonomously adaptive. Hope to do the next picture, Palma. Thank you so much, everyone. Really detailed.